Released in 1995 for the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, this game was based directly off the Spider-Man animated series Saturday morning cartoon. Players swung through New York, fighting enemies just taken out of the show. Venom, Kingpin, and the Lizard, just to name a few. And here's where it gets interesting. There's actually two versions of this game. The Super Nintendo version, which is the one playing behind me, and the Sega Genesis version, the one that I played growing up. Genesis version leaned more into like faster, sharper combat, while the Super Nintendo version actually had different bosses and some different level layouts. It was like two different versions of the same game, and you played depending on what console you owned. Fun fact, the game's artwork and animation frames, the game's cutscenes actually borrowed artwork and animation frames that were inspired from the show. So when you played this game, you really felt like you were controlling an episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series. And for us Spider-Man fans at the time, this was pure magic. This game is definitely not considered a masterpiece by any means. And it is hard. Or at least I remember it being hard. But it did capture the vibe of the cartoon pretty well. And for a lot of us, myself included, this was the first time we got to swing through the streets of New York as Spider-Man. So tell me, did you have this game? And if you did, what version did you have? The Super Nintendo version or the Sega Genesis version?